The graduating address given by kicker Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs at Benedictine College, a Catholic university, has continued to spark controversy. During his 20-minute speech, the NFL athlete attacked working women, the LBGTQ+ community, and families who use IVF and surrogacy. People's requests for comments were not immediately answered by Butker or the Chiefs. Chief Diversity Officer of the NFL Jonathan Bean states in a statement that Harrison Butker spoke in his own role. The NFL as an organization does not share his opinions. The NFL is unwavering in its dedication to diversity, which strengthens our league. Justice Horn, a former commissioner for Kansas City, went one step farther and publicly criticized Butker on X, previously known as Twitter. Harrison Butker doesn't represent Kansas City, nor has he ever, he stated. Kansas City has always been a place that welcomes, affirms, and embraces our LGBTQ+ community members. Sounds like some players need to stay in their lanes and shouldn't be giving commencement speeches, rapper Flavor Flav said. Pretty awful to hear an NFL player so proudly tell women to stay in their lane, serve their man, and make babies, wrote writer Sid Ziegler. Not to mention throwing grenades at the trans community and comparing Pride Month to a deadly sin. Not a big fan. Below is a summary of Butker's most contentious remarks from this speech in the midst of the uproar. Supporters of Taylor Swift expressed some of their indignation towards Butker after he shared one of her songs, which they discovered he misread. Using a line from Swift's 2022 song Bejeweled, Butker called her the girlfriend of Travis Kelce, his teammate. Butker remarked, "As my teammate's girlfriend would say, familiarity breeds contempt," in reference to Catholic teachings. However, Butker didn't seem to get that Swift was embracing her independence by moving on from a past partner in the song's message. Butker began his speech by talking about how the COVID-19 epidemic had an impact on the class of 2024 when they were just starting college. Attacks on President Joe Biden and subjects like euthanasia, IVF, surrogacy, and abortion swiftly shifted the conversation. "I'm sure neither your high school graduation nor your first few years of college were what you had anticipated. I hope that by overcoming all of the hardships you faced as a result of COVID, you were able to grasp the crucial lesson that pain in this world is fleeting. As a group, you witnessed firsthand how bad leaders who don't stay in their lane can have a negative impact on society." Butker continued, saying that major life issues have been negatively impacted by bad policies and poor leadership. Abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, and the media's increasing endorsement of deteriorating cultural standards are all products of the pervasiveness of disorder. The head of our country is a man who, while openly and proudly professing his Catholic religion, is also sufficiently deluded to make the sign of the cross. During a pro-abortion rally, he has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. The Chiefs kicker continued his verbal assault on Biden. This serves as a crucial reminder that being a Catholic is not enough. In polite society, we're told not to discuss these kinds of topics. The challenging and disagreeable aspects. However, we must give up pretending that the Church of Nice is a viable idea if we are to be men and women at this moment in history. Never confuse generosity with cowardice. Instead, we must constantly act and speak in a charitable manner. He went on to say, "As members of the Church founded by Jesus Christ, it is our duty and ultimately privilege to be authentically and unapologetically Catholic." Butker then shifted the subject of his lecture to Benedictine College's Catholic principles. But his remarks were directed against the trans and LGBTQ+ communities. Butker declared, "Benedictine has transformed from a mediocre liberal arts university with no uniqueness to a thriving lighthouse." I'm sure the AP reporters could not have predicted that their attempt to criticize and shame organizations and individuals such as those here at Benedictine would not elicit rage, but rather excitement and pride, not the kind of pride that is associated with deadly sins and has a whole month devoted to them, but the genuine God-centered pride that is working with the Holy Ghost to exalt Him. It is imperative that this class, this generation, in this time in our society must stop pretending that the things we see around us are normal, Butker later said, criticizing families who use IVF and surrogacy to produce children. Even among Catholic circles, there are many heterodox viewpoints. To be honest, whether that's your ideal number or the optimum timing to get pregnant, there's no joy in playing God when it comes to having kids. No matter how you look at it, Catholic birth control is not natural. I have just recently been inspired to speak up more forcefully and explicitly because, as I previously stated, I have leaned into my role as a husband, father, and man. Get the best of people, from captivating human interest stories to juicy celebrity news, by subscribing to their free daily newsletter. Don't miss a story. Speaking directly to the female graduates at Benedictine, Butker stated, "Congratulations to all of the ladies in attendance tonight on an incredible feat. I would like to address you directly for a brief moment because I believe that you, the ladies, have been the victims of the most heinous falsehoods. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world." Regarding his spouse, Butker remarked, "I can assure you that my lovely wife, Isabel, would be the first to state that she started living her life's work when she became a wife and mother. My wife embraces her career, which allows me to be the guy I am on this platform today. God has truly blessed me with a multitude of abilities, but I can't stress enough how much my success is due to a lady I met in middle school band class who eventually became a Christian, became my wife, and assumed one of the most significant roles of all, homemaker." He went on, "I tell you all of this because I have personally witnessed how much happy people can be when they ignore the distractions in their lives and make steady progress toward following God's purpose." Even though Isabel's ambition of a career did not materialize, she would laugh aloud and without hesitation if you asked her now if she regretted her choice. However, a number of social media users have brought attention to the fact that Butker's mother, Elizabeth Butker, works successfully as a physicist at the Department of Radiation Oncology at Emory University. To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities, Butker remarked, turning his attention to the male graduates present. Men are the ones who set the cultural tone. And when that's lacking, turmoil, dysfunction, and disorder reign. There may be a connection between other nations' significantly lower rates of violence and their lack of absentee fatherhood, which is not nearly as high as it is in the United States. Don't hesitate to embrace your manhood. Combat the cultural devaluation of masculinity in society. Take on challenging tasks. Never accept ease of use. Even if you may not particularly love your talent, you should perhaps pursue it if it honors God rather than pursuing something you may believe better fits you. I know that my message today had a little less fluff than is expected for these speeches, Butker said as he concluded his speech. I believe that this audience and this venue is the best place to speak openly and honestly about who we are and where we all want to go, which is heaven, Butker said. I give thanks to God for Benedictine College and the global example it sets. You are going into mission terrain in a post-God world, no doubt about it, but you are meant for this, and you too can be a saint if you have God on your side and always strive for virtue in your line of work. Christ is supremely King.